Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap the XFL games from the action, college basketball, NBA, and NHL. Look ahead to tonight's slate in each of those sports. But in this show, I'm going to start with last night's 92nd Academy Awards. It was a fun show. A lot of big stars with awards. Some surprises along the way. I'm going to go through the awards first, then I'll talk about the performers. Best Supporting Actor, Brad Pitt won. That was a lock, in my opinion. He was minus 2,500 to win. So, he was really good in his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so you figured that he would have been the favorite for that. Best Animated Feature was Toy Story 4. It was a minus 118. There's rumors about a different movie coming in and possibly stealing the award, but Toy Story 4 wins. Best Animated Short Film was Hair Love. It was minus 455. Best Original Screenplay was Parasite at minus 230. Best Adapted Screenplay was Jojo Rabbit at minus 177. Best Live Action Short was The Neighbor's Window at minus 118. It was co-favored with something else. Best Production Design, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, was a minus 200 favorite. Best Costume Design was Little Women. It was a minus 278 favorite. Best Documentary Feature was American Factory at minus 134. That was Barack Obama, so congratulations to him. Best documentary short film was Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone, which was minus 670. Best Supporting Actress was Laura Dern, minus 2,500. She was in Little Women, and she did really good. Or, I'm sorry, it was A Marriage Story. My bad. Best Sound Editing was Ford vs. Ferrari, plus 125. So that was an underdog that came in there. So, good on Ford versus Ferrari. Something else was the favorite. I think it was 1917, if I'm not mistaken. It was. Best Sound Mixing was 1917 at minus 250, so it won that. Best Cinematography was 1917, minus 5,000. Best Film Editing, Ford versus Ferrari's minus 110. It was co-favorite with, I believe it was 1917. Best Visual Effects, 1917 at minus 150. Best Makeup and Hair was Bombshell, minus 500. Best International Feature Film was Parasite, minus 10,000. Best Original Score was The Joker, it was minus 455. Best Original Song was I'm Gonna Love Me Again by Elton John from Rocketman, it was minus 500. Best Director was Bong Joon-ho from Parasite, it was plus 175. The favorite for that award was, I believe, the director of 1917. Best Actor, Joaquin Phoenix, minus 5,000 of The Joker. Best Actress was Renee Zellweger from Judy, minus 2,500. And Best Picture was another upset. It was Parasite at plus 150. 1917 was a minus 125 favorite to win the award. So, a fun Oscars, to say the least. A couple upsets here and there, but all the big favorites won. There were a couple performers along the way. Janelle Monáe and Billy Porter opened the show and performed Won't You Be My Neighbor from the Neighborhood movie, Come Alive, and I'm Still Standing. Idina Menzel and a bunch of foreign performers joined her on stage to perform Into the Unknown from Frozen 2. That was nominated for Best Song. Chrissy Metz performed I'm Standing With You from Breakthrough. A surprise performer, Eminem, performed Lose Yourself. That was pretty neat. Randy Newman performed I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away from Toy Story 4. Utkarsh Ambudkar performed an Oscars recap rap. Cynthia Erivo performed Stand Up from Harriet. Elton John performed I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man, which won the Best Original Song Award. And then Billie Eilish performed Yesterday during the In Memoriam sequence, which included Kobe Bryant, among many others in there. Billie Eilish, by the way, a rising star in the music industry. She's going to be a superstar within the next couple years. She's already the 2020 breakthrough singer. Actually, she kind of broke out at the end of last year, but she's really getting her recognition this year, being everywhere. So, good for her. So, that's it for the Oscars talk, and now we're going to talk some XFL, which debuted over the weekend. There were 2 games on Saturday and 2 yesterday. And all of them, I believe, were on TV. So without further ado, here we go. The DC Defenders defeated the Seattle Dragons 31-19. The Defenders are 1-0, and the Dragons are 0-1. The Roughnecks defeated the LA Wildcats 37-17. The Roughnecks are St. Louis, by the way. So the Roughnecks are 1-0 and the Wildcats are 0-1. The New York Guardians defeated the Tampa Bay Vipers 23-3. The Guardians 1-0 and the Vipers 0-1. The Battlehawks are St. Louis. The St. Louis Battlehawks defeated the Dallas Renegades 15-9. The Battlehawks 1-0. The Renegades 0-1. The Renegades were the preseason favorite to win the whole thing. And by the way, the Roughnecks are Houston. So that was my mistake. So XFL fun. Hopefully I get Jeff Maglicetti on at the end of the week so he could talk about this league with me because he covers the Guardians. So hopefully we can get him on sooner rather than later. Now we'll talk some college basketball from the weekend, go over the weekend scores, and look ahead to tonight's game. So we have a lot to do, so bear with me. Friday night, Harvard over Yale 78-77. Northern Illinois over Kent State 57-54. VCU over Davidson 73-62. Rider over Canisius 61-60. Siena over Fairfield 65-49. Manhattan over Niagara 77-59. Marist over St. Peter 72-61. Brown over Dartmouth 67-65. Iona over Quinnipiac 73-52. Number 9 Maryland over number 20 Illinois 75-66. South Alabama over Troy 70-66. Buffalo over Central Michigan 65-60. Penn, Columbia, and Princeton Cornell were both postponed to Saturday. And now we'll get to Saturday's results. There's a lot of them, so bear with me. Number 3 Kansas over TCU 60-46. Number 8 Florida State over Miami 99-81. Number 11 Auburn over number 18 LSU 91-90 in overtime. Michigan over number 16 Michigan State 77-68. Georgetown over DePaul 76-72. BC over Virginia Tech 77-73 in overtime. Temple over SMU 97-90 in overtime. New Hampshire over Stony Brook 81-64. Milwaukee over IUPUI 80-79 in overtime. Rhode Island over George Washington 82-51. Number 15 Kentucky over Tennessee 77-64. BU over Holy Cross 77-68. VMI over the Citadel 75-64. South Carolina over A&M 74-54. Texas Rio Grande over Chicago State 75-64. Number 6 Dayton over St. Louis 71-65. Oklahoma over number 13 West Virginia 69-59. North Dakota State over Oral Roberts 83-76. North Texas over UAB 71-64. Penn over Columbia 76-67. Cornell over Princeton 73-62. Purdue over Indiana 74-62. Special thing about that night is Indiana brought back Bob Knight for the first time since he was fired 20 years ago. Furman over Western Carolina 82-73. Ole Miss over Florida 68-51. Towson over Drexel 76-69. Army loses at American 72-62. Pitt over Georgia Tech 73-64. Richmond over Fordham 59-53. Coastal Carolina over Texas Arlington 89-75. Delaware over James Madison 80-78. Akron over Eastern Michigan 59-58. Maine over Binghamton 82-75. Lehigh over Lafayette 62-59. Colgate over Navy 67-60. Number 12 Seton Hall over number 10 Villanova 70-64. St. Bonaventure over Duquesne 83-80. Winthrop over Longwood 70-68. South Dakota over North Dakota 82-68. Robert Morris over Sacred Heart 61-58. Little Rock over Arkansas State 90-87. Georgia State over Yale Monroe 77-69. Ohio over Miami of Ohio 77-46. Missouri over Arkansas 83-79 in overtime. Number 5 Louisville over Virginia 80-73. Number 22 Penn State over Minnesota 83-77. Southern Utah over Portland State 85-57. Texas Tech over Texas 62-57. South Florida over Memphis 75-73. Hofstra over Northeastern 75-71. App State over Texas State 60-57. Nichols over Sam Houston State 88-82. Northern Iowa over Drake 83-73. St. Francis, Pennsylvania over Wagner 85-68. Charlotte over UTSA 91-84. Bryan over Central Con State 64-60. NC Central over Coppin State 68-63. Seattle over Utah Valley 87-85 in overtime. Florida A&M over Howard 82-78 in overtime. Morgan State over Maryland Eastern 61-53. FIU over FAU 66-59. Alon over Charleston 72-65. Jacksonville over NJIT 65-54. St. Francis Brooklyn over St. Mary's 70-67. Bethune-Cookman over NCAT 78-73. UMBC over UMass Lowell 60-50. UIC over Green Bay 71-58. Eastern Illinois over Morehead State 71-65. Bowling Green over Toledo 85-83. Gardner-Webb over SC Upstate 88-57. East Tennessee State over Mercer 73-60. LIU over Merrimack 67-64 in overtime. Central Arkansas over McNeese 82-76 in overtime. SIU Edwards over Eastern Kentucky 83-75. Western Michigan over Ball State 68-64. Liberty over North Alabama 74-56. Lipscomb over Kennesaw State 72-66. Campbell over Presbyterian 79-62. LaSalle over St. Joe's 83-66. Alabama State over Mississippi Valley State 87-74. Tennessee Tech over Southeast Missouri State 62-60. Jacksonville State over Tennessee Martin 75-61. Wayland, Maryland over Bucknell 78-65. Eastern Washington over Montana State 74-49. Incarnate Word over Southeast Louisiana 82-75 in overtime. South Dakota State over Omaha 81-64. Charleston Southern over Hampton 85-72. Purdue Fort Wayne over Denver 70-63. Stephen F. Austin over New Orleans 81-74. Number 1 Baylor over Oklahoma State 78-70. Number 7 Duke over North Carolina 98-96 in overtime. That was the best game of the weekend in college basketball. Number 17 Iowa over Nebraska 96-72. Number 21 Creighton over St. John's 94-82. Number 24 Colorado over Stanford 81-74. New Mexico over Wyoming 97-68. Belmont over Austin P 71-63. Cleveland State over Youngstown State, or it's the other way around, 67-55. Alabama over Georgia 105-102 in overtime. East Carolina over Tulane 81-67. Brown over Harvard 72-71. Rice over Middle Tennessee 91-83. Prairie View over Texas Southern 69-59. Jackson State over Alcorn State 86-57. Grambling over Southern 66-62. Norfolk State over Delaware 85-57. Chattanooga over Wofford 88-77. Or 84-77. Marshall over La Tech 89-79 in overtime, or 83. Rice State over Oakland 83-71. Old Dominion over Utah 72-53. North Florida over Florida Gulf Coast 69-60. Vermont over Hartford 69-68. Radford over High Point 81-70. Northern Kentucky over Detroit Mercy 84-65. Yale over Dartmouth 75-57. UNC Wilmington over William & Mary 70-64. Nevada over San Jose State 95-77. Western Kentucky over Southern Miss 75-72. Number 4 San Diego State over Air Force 89-74. Illinois State over Indiana State 74-67. Utah over Cal, 60-45. Xavier over Providence, 64-58. Mexico State over UMKC, 67-61. Illinois over Fresno State, 68-67. Southern Illinois over Missouri State, 68-66. Georgia Southern over Louisiana, 86-79. Abilene Christian over Lamar, 84-49. Northwestern State over Houston Baptist, 93-79. Iowa State over Kansas State, 73-63. Syracuse over Wake, 75-73. Bama A&M over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 58-54. Murray State over Tennessee State, 73-65. Mississippi State over Vanderbilt, 80-70. Sacramento State over Idaho State, 63-59. Weber State over Northern Arizona, 76-70. Montana over Idaho, 82-71. BYU over San Francisco, 90-76. Number 2, Georgia, or Gonzaga, my bad, over St. Mary's, 90-70. UCLA upsets number 23, Arizona, 65-52. Pacific over Pepperdine, 79-78. San Diego over Portland, 88-81 double overtime. Grand Canyon over Cal Baptist, 103-98. Cal State Northridge over UC Riverside, 61-59. UC Santa Barbara over UC Irvine, 64-61. Arizona State over USC, 66-64. Cal Poly over Hawaii, 79-75 in overtime. Utah State over Boise State, 70-61. Oregon State over number 14, Oregon, 63-53. And UC Davis over Cal State Fullerton, 87-81. Sunday, Marquette over number 19, Butler, 76-57. UConn over Cincinnati, 72-71 in overtime. UNC Greensboro over Stanford, 95-67. Wisconsin over Ohio State, 70-57. UCF over Tulsa, 83-75. Iona over Fairfield, 78-54. St. Peter's over Monmouth, 81-69. Rider over Niagara, 73-58. Princeton over Columbia, 81-74. Penn over Cornell, 79-73. Manhattan over Quinnipiac, 65-63. Bradley over Evansville, 69-58. UMass over George Mason, 69-67. Number 25, Houston over Wichita State, 76-43. Loyola Chicago over Valparaiso, 70-68. Notre Dame over Clemson, 61-57. Washington State over Washington, 79-67. And Rutgers over Northwestern, 77-73 in overtime. Tonight's slate is not that busy. We have Charleston Southern at USC Upstate, 6 o'clock at ESPN+. 7 o'clock ESPN, number 8 Florida State at number 7 Duke. Duke is 8.5 favorite. I love Florida State getting 8.5. Letdown spot for Duke after a big-time overtime win over Carolina. Guess what? I think that Florida State can win this game outright. So give me Florida State plus the 8.5. Campbell Longwood, High Point at Gardner-Webb. UNC Asheville at Hampton. Radford at Winthrop. CBS Sports Network, Colgate at Boston University. BU's a 2-point favorite. Give me Colgate and the points. I have this as a pick'em. So, give me Colgate plus the points, as well as BU is played in conference play. I really like Colgate here. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I have 2 points of value here at Colgate. 7:30 Howard at Bethune-Cookman. Maryland Eastern at Coppin State. Delaware State at South Carolina State. NC Central at Morgan State. 8 o'clock NCAT at Florida A&M. Alabama A&M at Mississippi Valley State. Alcorn State at Grambling. Now we're into 8:30. Alabama State at Arkansas Pine Bluff. 9 o'clock ESPN, number 1 Baylor at Texas. Baylor I have as a 5.5 point favorite on the ESPN app. But my numbers say Baylor by 7. I think I have some value here at Baylor. So give me Baylor minus the 5.5. Portland State at Northern Colorado. TCU at Texas Tech. At 9 o'clock on ESPNU, Southern at Jackson State. My line is dead on with the regular line at Jackson State by 3. But if I had to pick a side, it's Jackson State, but I don't feel super about it. So give me Jackson State minus the 3, although that's the number I have it at as well. Now we'll talk NBA. Go over the weekend slate and look ahead to tonight's slate. So Friday night, Wizards over the Mavericks, 119-118 on the Bradley Beal buzzer beater. 76ers over the Grizzlies, 119-107. Celtics over the Hawks, 112-107. Thunder over the Pistons, 108-101. Raptors over the Pacers, 115-106. Suns kill the Rockets, 127-91. Kings over the Heat, 105-97. Jazz over the Trailblazers, 117-114. That game should have really gone into overtime, but they missed a goaltending call. And they didn't call it, and that was probably the worst call of the NBA season so far. Saturday, Bucks over the Magic, 111-95. Mavs over the Hornets, 116-100. Knicks over the Pistons, 95-92. Pelicans over the Pacers, 124-117. Timberwolves over the Clippers, 142-115. Lakers over the Warriors, 125-120. Nuggets over the Suns, 117-108. And the Kings over the Spurs, 122-102. Sunday, Celtics over the Thunder, 112-111. Hawks over the Knicks, 140-135 in double overtime. Grizzlies over the Wizards, 106-99. 76ers over the Bulls, 118-111. Jazz over the Rockets, 114-113. Clippers over the Cavs, 133-92. And Trailblazers over the Heat, 115-109. Tonight's slate is busy. Got 9 games. That's a lot for a Monday. Normally, there's usually like 5 on a Monday, but we got a good one. All right, so NBA for tonight, 7 o'clock, Hornets, Pistons, Nets, Pacers, Hawks at the Magic, 7:30, Timberwolves at the Raptors, 8 o'clock, NBA TV, the Kings at the Bucks, 8:30, the Jazz at the Mavs, 9 o'clock, the Spurs at the Nuggets, 10:30, the Heat at the Warriors, and 10:30 NBA TV, the Suns at the Lakers. Now we'll talk NHL from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's slate of games. Friday night, Sabres over the Rangers 3-2. Maple Leafs over the Ducks 5-4 in overtime. Blue Jackets over the Red Wings 2-0. Wild over the Stars 3-2. Saturday, Jets over the Senators 5-2. Bruins over the Coyotes 4-2. Canadiens over the Maple Leafs 2-1 in overtime. Lightning over the Islanders 1-3. Penguins over the Panthers 3-2. Devils over the Kings 3-0. Flyers over the Capitals 7-2. Avs over the Blue Jackets 2-1. Oilers over the Preds 3-2. Stars over the Blues 3-2 in overtime. Flames over the Canucks 6-2. And the Hurricanes over the Golden Knights 6-5 in a shootout. Last night, Red Wings over the Bruins 3-1, the NBC game of the week. Ducks over the Sabres 3-2. Rangers over the Kings 4-1. Jets over the Blackhawks 5-2. And Avs over the Wild 3-2 in the night game on NBCSN. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock, Coyotes at the Canadiens. Panthers at the Flyers. Islanders at the Capitals. NBCSN 7:30. Lightning at the Blue Jackets. Should be a good game. I'm going to say it's Kenny Albert and either Pierre Maguire or Joe Micheletti because there's no Rangers and Knicks tonight. I think Columbus can pull this off at home. But it's the playoff rematch, obviously. Blue Jackets slept the Lightning last year. Lightning have revenge on their mind. So give me the Lightning on the road here. 10 o'clock, Predators at the Canucks, and 10:30, the Flames at the Sharks. And now my best bets of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. My college best bet is so obvious. I hinted at it earlier. It's Florida State getting the points at Duke. This is a letdown spot for Duke after its Carolina come from behind win. And I think that the Seminoles have an excellent chance to win this game outright. So give me Florida State plus the 8.5 against their conference rivals. And then for the NBA, there's a couple of them last night. I'm going to name out the lines first. The Magic are 7.5-point home favorites against the Hawks. This line should approximately be 11. The Nets at the Pacers. The Pacers are a 7-point favorite. The Pacers should be a 7-point favorite on neutral. This should be 10, approximate. The Pistons hosting the Hornets. The Pistons are 2.5-point favorites. This should approximately be 4.5 Pistons. 7:30, the Raptors at the Timberwolves. The Raptors are a 9.5-point home favorite. Meanwhile, my numbers say that the Raptors should be favored big, like over 20. I have these two teams apart. The Kings at the Bucks. The Bucks are an 11.5-point favorite against the Kings. And this should be big, like way bigger. This should be, I have this in the 20s. The Jazz at the Mavericks. The Jazz are a 1-point road favorite. And they're probably road favorites because of no Luka. And it should be Mavs by 1. Spurs at the Nuggets. The Nuggets are 7.5 home favorites. They should be bigger than that. I mean, much bigger. They should be like 17.5. Suns at the Lakers. The Lakers are -12 at home against the Suns. They should be in the 20s. It's astronomical. And then Heat at the Warriors. Heat are 5.5 on the road. Meanwhile, it should be much bigger. So there's a lot of big favorites I could go with here, but the one that I'm going to go with, like I said, I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to go with the Bucks. I should go with the Raptors, but I'm going to go with the Bucks here at -11.5 at home against the Kings. There's a lot of them I could choose from that I have discrepancies on, but I'm going to go with the Bucks here as the big favorite at home against the Los Angeles Kings. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping college basketball, NBA, and NHL, and looking ahead to tomorrow night's slate of games. I may or may not have a redraft tomorrow. It's either going to be NBA, NHL, NFL, or Major League Baseball from 2019. So stay tuned to see what it is. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.